Welcome back, YouTube. Got this up here on the bench. I got the nuts taken off and we are getting ready to open this up. Before we go on with that, did want to mention a couple things. Under this spring here, this little part, the problem I had with getting this off while the tire was still up there, it was a pain to get that one bolt off, to get everything off. It took me a couple hours to get up there and get that taken off because that bolt has some super grippy Loctite on it, and it's very hard to come out. So one other thing I wouldn't suggest this, but I guess if a guy was so inclined, he could just go ahead and, if he can get the tire up off of this high enough to cut this cable where everything would slide off, all of this slides off through the cable, and then when you go to put it back together, you'd have to get something to weld to the end of this cable if you could. I'm not a welder, don't claim to be, and don't know a whole lot about welding, but if a guy could somehow weld something on the end of this cable to hold that spring and in turn hold the tire and everything up, you could do that. Be a lot easier, I guess. And another thing, if you've seen the last video, the original video I did, you'll know that I had originally planned to put 2 bolts in these 2 holes. What I found is when I did that, though, is that this part would not fit in there. The bolts took up a little too much space on the sides and wouldn't allow this to go up all the way, up in there all the way. So, everything seems to be holding together, though. I'm not sure if they're real important. Once again, a guy could, maybe weld some steel plates on each side, clamp it together, and weld them up to keep that together. But when these bolts, when it still had the bolts and everything in it, it seemed to be holding together just fine. So we're going to take these bolts out, and we'll take a look at the inside and kind of show you how this works and whatnot. So all right, those off to the side. This stretched out. So, and this, it kind of sticks a little, so I had this problem when I took it off. That is you'll kind of see it holds a gear in there in place. So, to help the system work. So, what we got here is we got, of course, this is the part that your jack connects to. As you can see on there, it is a concentric cam. So it kind of works like the cams on your car. When it's spinning, it in turn spins this. This moves around. Oh, get that out of there. This kind of spins around like that on that pin, on this pin right here. If you can see that. Oops. That all came apart on me. That's alright, we can put it back together. Kind of spins on this pin right here. And then as it moves around like that, it has a gear on the back, which causes a spinning action on this gear, which is what your cable is attached to, and brings it up and down. So one important thing, you want to make sure, if you do take one of these apart, make sure you put enough grease in there. I probably overdid it. I always say better than too much than not enough. When I originally took this apart a couple years ago, I cleaned all of it off. Cleaned it all off real nice. And then just really just greased the shit out of it. So, and then you'll notice too, it has a little spring-loaded clip back here, and I believe that's just to tell you that the tire is up as far as it's going to go, and I think it kind of locks it in place. But mostly it's the cam mechanism that locks everything in place. So we'll kind of get this, now that you know, there's that little pin. You'll see that one end has got some flat spots on each side. I don't know if you can really see that on the camera, but they're flat on this side, and then it's round here. And that's to help that slide around, and then that will move with it. So it kind of does this number when it's being spun around. And then the other side's just fully round. It just goes in there. It just goes in there like that. And there's a hole on the other side that you have to make sure you get lined up to where it goes down in there far enough. So, put it back together. Again, make sure you got everything greased up real good. Get that on there, and you can kind of see how that works when it's being spun. I'll get this part on here. Some of this grease moved around a little. When I originally had the problem, you know, I think I mentioned it came down 4 or 5 inches and then just stopped. All it would do is just click, which I believe was that piece on the back. See, that's as far down as they'll go, but you can kind of see how that works. And you can see that one, it's just moving consistently as I spin this. And then if you try to pull that cable ain't coming out, because and it all has to do with the concentric action of these pieces here, is why that won't ever come down. So why they put that safety catch on there, I don't know. But I'm not sure what was wrong with this when I originally took it apart. I think I mentioned that in the previous video, in my first video about it. Other than it was very dry. There wasn't a whole lot of grease in here. And but everything seemed to be in order. I didn't change any of the pieces out of here. Basically all I did was took it apart, cleaned it, put it back together. Like I said, I did grind. These were actually like rivet pins that were in here before. I ground those off, knocked them out, and put bolts in. Other than that, that was the only thing I did. So I don't know. I don't really know what happened, why it wouldn't come down to begin with. I did a whole lot of research on it, and everybody said it was the safety catch, which is, I ended up grinding mine off just so I wouldn't have any problems with that. Once again, that's not something I recommend. Do it at your own risk. But other than that, everything seems to work fine. So we'll get this put back together. The most important thing is that pin. You make sure you get it lined up, and then just take a hammer, knock it down, make sure it's set in place, and you should be good to go. We'll get these bolts in here. Get the bolts in here and then get it back in the truck. We'll make sure it still works, which I'm sure it does because it's working here. So we'll see you in a little bit. I'll show you how to put this all back together. Okay, YouTube, we're back under the truck here, getting ready to put the tire hoist back up in its position. So basically all we gotta do is, I don't know if you can, this little lip right here is going to go right on top of this piece inside this hole on the frame there, and then we'll take our bolt and put it in and we'll be good to go. Get the tire back up. Of course, this is not, once again, not an easy job. Takes a lot of finagling. Get all my tools ready. All right, and then get this bolt started. And then we'll just take our impact. All right. Slide that back in. These just clip in there. She got them positioned right. And you gotta get it over that bolt. Oh, come on. There we go. What the fuck? And then there we go. Get there. Get in there. Very you're freaking son of a bitch. One side just doesn't want to go in. It's very important to get this on there because that holds that tube in alignment. And I had this happen on an older truck. That piece broke and it was all out of alignment, and when you go to put the jack piece in there to lift put the tire down, you couldn't get it on there because it was just all too far out of alignment. So you gotta make sure you get that in there. And why that thing will go in there, I don't know. Let's see if we can get that one in first. Now they're both out. Come on. There's one. Come on. I don't think that would matter, but who knows? See, that one's in. Just get this other one in. What the hell? Oh, come on. Get a screwdriver. Maybe a light. All right. Got a little bit of light here. I remember this now from the last time I put this back in. is such a pain to get this lined up. There we go. All right, so there we go. Get our dust cover put back up. Oh, no, there goes my camera. All right. So it's back up there. Looks like I'm running out of recording time. So I will catch you later, YouTube. And that's pretty much how you do it. So talk to you later. Bye.